welcome to the Pelican Sports postgame show, year number 11 for the postgame show, year number 1 for Ed Orgeron, and they win the opener 27-0 in the Superdome. I'm Tommy Kryson along with Buddy Sanji. Buddy, your early thoughts on the 27-0. It's all about Dave Aranda in the defense.
Good to see you again, TK. As always, we start off by giving all of our hope and prayers and heartfelt condolences to the people in Houston. A lot of that talk early in the game. LSU, how about a quick tidbit for you to start off? The last time they opened up and threw a shutout to open up the season,
wow,
they won the national championship in 2007. They beat Mississippi State 45-0. And the last time, folks, LSU opened the season 27-0 was in 1988. So good karma for that. Great defense. Defense played exceptionally well. TK, we talk about a lot of true freshmen that made some great hits and plays tonight. 13 Tigers suspended for a variety of reasons. It did not matter. LSU, and here's the third little ironic thing here. The last time the Tigers played in the Superdome in the big game in 11, of course it was January, actually 2008, they did, or 12 actually, they didn't cross midfield. TK, BYU did not cross midfield tonight. So a lot of karma, a lot of irony, a lot of good things, and as always, we want to hear what the fans have to say. But I'd say overall a solid B plus to open up the season.
Well, there's a lot of things to clean up, but I think you start off with the 0 on the scoreboard for BYU, 27-0, as you see. Dave Aranda, as you said, buddy, they don't cross the 50. I mean, the stats are so slanted, it's not even funny. It was a domination. I'll say this, the game's not as close as the score on the screen would indicate. I mean, LSU was clearly better. BYU didn't look any better than they did against Portland State, who, by the way, took Oregon State to the wire today. We thought they'd play better. All of us did. They didn't. LSU's got a lot to clean up, but I think the positives go to the defense. And then, too many penalties, and, they ran the ball well. Etling, Miles Brennan got in. Etling's got good numbers, pedestrian numbers, if you will. So I think there's some good things out of it, but they got a lot of stuff to clean up.
It's pretty interesting when you see all these true freshmen play, TK. It goes back to that year when you had Tyrann Mathieu and Eric Reed and Tharrell Simon and all those guys that played as true freshmen all had an INT against A&M in the bowl game before A&M joined the conference. How about Kaylavon Chason played well? Tyler Taylor started at middle linebacker. You really couldn't tell he was a true freshman. Donnie Alexander, one of the guys suspended. Kerry Vincent started at nickel. Xavier Lewis, one of the guys suspended. Greedy Williams, a redshirt freshman, had the first INT of the year. You look at some of the other guys. Jacob Phillips got in a little bit. Ed Ingram and Sadiq Charles. Sadiq Charles started at right guard. Ed Ingram played better than Sadiq Charles. I think that's going to be a battle throughout the year. And you go all in all. Clyde Edwards-Helaire at the end. And so a lot of young guys. LSU's a young football team. A lot to clean up. I didn't think Canada got the plays in quick enough. I thought that they ran it a little bit too much. And, Ed was talking all of this smack, jibber-jabber, 50-50. Well, they probably ran it about 75% of the time tonight. But a great starting point for Coach O now that he's got this puppy in his hands. And it's like a sculpture. You want to shape it and get better, and I think Canada will evolve. But once again, Dave Aranda proving why he's worth every penny for you LSU Tiger fans in the nation.
And I don't have the participation list in front of me, but they got a lot of guys into this game, a whole lot of guys. Probably a good number of them that wouldn't have got in had it been tight, neck and neck through, into the second half. So that's a good thing, too. Get those butterflies out, get those guys in. All right, we are going to take our first break of the evening. The phone number, if you want to get involved, 225-928-4910, 225-928-4910. The text message line is area code 504-689-9246. This is the Pelican Sports postgame show with Buddy Sanji. I'm Tommy Krysan. LSU wins it in the Superdome, 27-0. We're back after this pause. Stay with us. Accord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Accord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including OptiMap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Accord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Accord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Spread the roar. That's right, Tigers Roar. Each Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans. Replays are Thursday through Saturday, and the show is available at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Tommy Chrysan and Jordy Holtberg will have the latest on LSU football, LSU sports, and sports from across Louisiana. Spread the roar. Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
At Hooters, you can watch all the games with your buddies. All your buddies. Like the ones with ice-cold beer. And wings that'll knock your taste buds into next Tuesday. Buddies you won't have to fight for the remote. Buddies who know a thing or two about football. And the fans who live for it. Host your fantasy football draft at Hooters. Get over $200 in freebies and a chance to win a trip to the big game. Hooters, your official hangout for game day.
We continue with the post-game show. Buddy was spot on. It was 76% run versus pass. How about a couple of stats we'll get to Mark from Baton Rouge? 42 minutes possession to 18. Total offense, 479 to 97. I do want to mention that we'll get a report from the Superdome from Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com, as well as Ronnie Rance from Sports Shorts TV. But right now to the phone lines we go. Mark is in Baton Rouge. Mark, you're on the post-game show.
Hey, TK and Buddy, how you doing this year?
Good to talk with you, Mark.
Hey, listen, we got us a good team this year, it looks like.
You know, we were talking about it as it winded down, and we come over here and talk and compare notes and all. I'll fix my hat, Mark. I wanted to go hat, and, you know, it's kind of midnight. I've already said, Mark, we're going to dress up in jackets if LSU can come out the gate 5-0 and 6-0, but first of all, that defense can really run, and you love the way that they play coverage. TK, we thought there'd be a few more sacks, but I thought they got good coverage and good pressure for the most. They had more hurries and sacks. Special teams missed a field goal, had a couple of big returns on the kickoff. All in all, stuff to work on. Guys got a little tired, but man, how about the way Darrell Williams ran? And for guys in the offensive line, Sadiq Charles and Ed Ingram, they didn't play like freshmen. I think you'll see the offense evolve more each week. But Mark, from a starting point, hey, we were in Green Bay doing that phone call with you last year. I think everybody saw you didn't see a lot from LSU offensively, but this is a great starting point comparatively, speaking to last year, TK and Mark.
I have to agree with you guys. I think there's a lot of depth on the team this year.
A lot of young players, Mark. You saw all those redshirt freshmen and true freshmen.
Yeah. And that backup quarterback, man, when he came in, he looks pretty strong.
I give TK credit. You know, we've had a lot of discussion leading up to the fall camp, Mark, about the number of quarterbacks that are going to play. And TK did say that they'd play 2 in this game. Lowell Narcisse is probably going to play later on in the year when they have a package for him running inside the red zone. If you want to have constructive criticism, guys, you got to call better plays and execute a little bit better inside the red zone. But didn't turn it over. And the other thing I think that's obvious, Mark, in game 1, got to clean up some of the silly penalties.
Right. That was something that I heard on your show this morning, I think the other show, and I think, Coach addressed that this morning. I saw part of him saying that there's a senior on the line that is in the center position, and that was going to be pretty well taken care of, but it didn't seem like it was tonight.
Yeah. Well, bottom line, Mark, what were your opening grades for opening night?
Listen, I'm just really excited. I think there's just an energy into the team that I didn't see in the previous couple of years. I think you know that I've been a sort of a supporter of the previous coach, but, you know, I transitioned, and I like this guy, Coach O. I think he's really transparent, really puts it out there on the line, has a lot of heart in the game, and I think the players, it just translates over into the players. So, you know, I don't really have any complaints. I'd give the team a B performance. I think that I agree with what you had said regarding the penalties on the line. I'm a little frustrated with those, and I was a little disappointed. The only thing I questioned was in the third quarter why we didn't go for that touchdown, but I think we got the answer to that in the fourth quarter when we went with short yardage in the red zone and couldn't get in.
That's where I put a little pressure and criticism on Canada. They had a couple times, TK. You got to remember something. When you're having this much movement before the snap, you need to have the play in 17, 18 seconds because you got 7, 8 seconds of movement, and on that fourth down play, they didn't snap it until 1 second. So we'll see if they get better on that. But overall, we know Aranda's worth every dollar he's getting paid. The question is, how good will Matt Canada evolve each week with this offense? And look, Geis had the 4 wisdom teeth taken out. If you remember back, Mark, the way he ran against Texas A&M, he was a bowling ball that couldn't be stopped. He didn't look like he was in his top form tonight, but Darrell Williams ran hard. Clyde Edwards-Helaire came in there. But I was excited the way Miles Brennan, his first competition, it did not look like it was too big a stage. Now, I know it's cleanup duty and you're up 27-0. I like the way he handled himself, Mark.
I do too. Well, thanks, guys. It was nice talking to you.
Okay, buddy. Call us next week.
Thank you, Mark. A couple of text messages here. The stats on Tyrod Taylor. I don't have the defensive stats in front of me yet, but he played a good ball game. He was out there doing some stuff.
TK, I was taking notes during the game, and this is what got me really excited. In the first series that BYU had on offense, Tyler Taylor had a big stop. Grant Delpit had a nice play, and then Kerry Vincent had a nice play. Those are all 3 freshmen. And when you start talking about the guys that can run and the young pups on defense, 13 players suspended, only 2 starters, Kevin Tolliver and Donnie Alexander. The other guys were backups, but we're going to play like Frank Haran and Michael Divinity and all that. Everybody should know who were the guys that were held out. And TK, I wanted to ask you, is that a problem area, or is that Coach O drawing a line in the sand, or do you think that maybe they didn't think he was going to call it that tight? Talk a little bit about what kind of message that sends right out of the gate.
You mean on the suspensions?
Yeah.
I mean, Coach, he's got to clean it up now. I mean, you can't let every week. You know, he made this comment, I think Wednesday or Thursday. Oh, we're going to have this every week. Better not have this every week, unless there's more than the 13 tonight, and maybe these 13 will be back, and another 13 or another number of them would be out the next week. I don't know, and I don't know if any of these are more than 1 week because he won't talk about it. So, you know, I hope this isn't every Saturday night. We got to figure out who's dressing out and who's not. But Coach Orgeron needs to clean it up. And I'm going to cite 2 examples you and I talked about during the week. I remember when Bill Onsberger got rid of Stan Humphries, who ended up starting in a Super Bowl. You know what? He didn't have many problems with that football team. Stan was selfish, and he admitted later he did a lot of things wrong. And then we remember Skip Berman Joey Bell, who was an all-star in the major leagues, dropped his pants in left field in Starkville. Skip Berman runs him off, and they didn't have any problems. This was early in Arnsparger's tenure at LSU, early in Skip's. I'm not saying Ed's got to run him off, but he's got to get a handle on it one way or the other. And, Florida had guys suspended today, so it's not only LSU. But, I hope he cleans it up, and I hope he's a little more forthright about what's going on. He doesn't have to give the details, but he needs to let people know what's up. And he's going to get asked, are any of these guys coming back? Any others going to be suspended? And he's going to say, oh, we're getting ready for Chattanooga. That's how he's going to answer it. So,
well, he doesn't want to give out those answers because he thinks it gives the other team a competitive advantage.
And now we know it would have. If BYU would have knew this on Tuesday,
Wednesday.
They would
have picked on Greedy Williams, who, of course, as soon as he was picked on, had a great INT. And Donnie Alexander, I got to tell you, Donnie, you better get back because Tyler Taylor and Jacob Phillips are mighty impressive for true freshmen inside linebackers.
Right, another text message, defense was awesome. That's from Floyd down in Patterson. And here's, like the new offense, but it needs to improve in the red zone to win an SEC game.
Yep.
Any word on why the players were suspended? Well, that's being hush-hush. I don't think it's academics because of the way it came down the pipe. That's probably, I'll call that a good guess. I don't know it to be fact. I'll call it a pretty good guess because all these guys were at practice. Otherwise, we'd have heard about that from the guys that went to practice. If it's academics, then you're not at practice. So I'm going to make a good guess that it's not academics. It could be a multitude of other things, and we just don't know.
And you get tests in life, and sometimes you pass and sometimes you fail. And I think each individual's situation is taken and considered on their own merit. But I do think that, look, Les has done this, and there's been guys that have been suspended, and we never heard anything about it, but invariably they didn't play. And then afterwards, it wasn't released. This Coach O, I got to be honest with you, he didn't want the media out there, but he has been incredibly forthright and honest talking about depth charts and all of this. Now, he said he wasn't going to say the reasons, and some of those guys have to be protected, as we know. You can't put their business out on the street. There are other things that you keep within the framework of the team, and I think that's the way to handle it. But let's just hope this is a message to everybody that if you cross the line, you're going to pay a price.
Well, Ed Orgeron's been very forthright, to use your word, about this program, except the whole Arden Key story. And then he got caught tap dancing around the Darius Geis pulled teeth story because he acted like he didn't know that. And he's going to be holding this back. But you know what? It's his program. He can handle it the way he wants, okay? And, we'll see if he is more informative. I think the fans want to know, but the fans may not get to know. Our phone number is 225-928-4910 if you want to give us a call. Text message line, which many of you are hitting us up on that, is area code 504-689-9246. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. We're going to take a break, come back with much more. LSU wins 27-0 in the Superdome. Buddy Sanji, Tommy Christ saying, Pelican Sports TV. Stay with us.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hooper Road Car Care in Central has been serving customers for over 24 years. Locally owned by Donald and Gina Gaspard, they provide all types of car care, including brakes, alignment, tune-ups, oil changes, AC service, transmission, computer diagnostic, and much more. Hooper Road Car Care also provides towing services. Call 225-262-7127. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, 9695 Hooper Road in Central.
Jaguar Nation, I'd like to say thank you for your continued support of our student athletes and our coaches. Once again, you have shown America we have the greatest fans in the country. It's time. Football season. Season tickets are available. Go Jags.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, a CLK multifamily management property. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com. Tell you all about Laundry Diva. It's a brand new business. All you LSU students, if you're a parent of a student, grandparent of a student, they will pick up and deliver your laundry. Wash and fold, bedding, linens, dry cleaning, drop your pants, and never do laundry again. Go to laundrydivau.com, laundrydivau.com, 225-614-1326. Again, great prices. It's cheaper than going to the laundromat. It's cheaper than doing it yourself, and it saves you time. Check out laundrydivau.com, 225-614-1326. They have delivery and pickup locations on the LSU campus and all the surrounding apartment communities. When you go to laundrydivau.com, they have a student tab where you can book your drop-off, your pickup, the whole bit. Want you to check them out. They do a great job, brand new, but they've got it going on. They can also take care of your office, your home, neighborhood, whatever you might want to do, but they're going after the students here on the post-game show. So probably not a lot of students listening right now so late, but if you're a parent or a grandparent or you have friends or kids that are at school, tell them about laundrydivau.com, 225-614-1326.
Are you kidding? These students are just starting to party, my man.
It's midnight, buddy. Mike Scarborough told me, he said, you better be careful when it hits midnight. Who knows what happens to Buddy?
Well, I think I'm going to be here till about 1:15 or whatever it is. But, hey, thanks, Matt Canada and the LSU offense for speeding up the game. 29 minutes for the first quarter. They kicked off at 8:40, and at 9:09 it was the first quarter. Took
Under
a shower.
3-hour game.
Yeah, under 3 hours. Hey, how about Derek Dillon? You know, Coach O's been talking about, I want to talk about some of the guys that are really improved. And Russell Gage and Derek Dillon are not the most ferocious, physically imposing wide receivers, but they just know how to play football. Derek Dillon made some really good catches. For you kids that are growing up, you got to know how to catch the ball with your hands. If it gets into the body, sometimes you have a little more trouble. Russell Gage didn't get that many opportunities, looked okay. DJ Chark going to be the bell cow receiver. Didn't really throw it to him that much except on the deep ball where he was open. They did throw to the backs out the backfield a little bit, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the mop-up duty. You got to like Miles Brennan and the way he looked. But two freshmen on the offensive line, Sadiq Charles and Ed Ingram. Now, this is just what I saw. But I thought LSU moved the ball a little bit better with Ed Ingram playing right guard than Sadiq Charles. So it would not surprise me if they continue that battle. Grant Delpit starts in front of Ed Paris. Greedy Williams starts because Tolliver is suspended. Tyler Taylor starts because Donnie Alexander is TK. All these guys, Caleb on Chason played a bunch because we know Key is out and Ray Thornton didn't play that much. All these true freshmen, this is going to be interesting to see when this freshman class grows up right here. I thought Danny played well at spots. I still think that he's got to see things a little bit better on the field. And then you look at the other thing about, and I know Coach O will mention it. He'll say, look, we shot ourselves in the foot with penalties. First play of the game, Jonathan Rucker, who's a guy that was a walk-on and got a scholarship, 15-yard penalty, backs him up. You look at it, it was total domination, TK. It could have been 40 or 43-0, and to hold them under 100 and not get past the 50, and LSU have almost 500, really you're looking for stuff if you're critical, but there's still plenty of things that they can clean up and get better with.
All right, here's a question. What would the score have been tonight if Les Miles was still the coach?
You know, some people just can't.
That's all the text messages.
No, I know. But well, look, I think everybody appreciates Les and what he brought to the table, but it is kind of funny that you said that. We said all during the fall camp, you're not going to see the fullback, you're not going to see the toss back to the tailback, and yet they did actually run that a little bit. I don't know. I had a text during the game said Les is smart enough to run Geis. I thought they ran Geis a little bit too much in the first half. But bottom line is everybody's got to move on. Les is on TV now being funny. And did you see what happened the other night?
Oh, come on. Did he do that on purpose?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
He did that on purpose to embarrass himself? Is that what he did?
You know, all I know is that it's a new day, it's a new coach, and we got new things to talk about this year.
All right, here's another text message. Why did Dante Jackson play so little? Because he can't cover me. He can run. He's one of the fastest guys on the team, one of the fastest guys in the conference. He can't cover the ball when it's in the air. And I had some people who know football far better than I explain that to me last year. He just can't cover when the ball's in the air. He loses his guy. He looks up. He doesn't know. He doesn't know how to cover when the ball's in the air. You're exactly right. It's his eyes, and they still haven't corrected that. So that might be why he played so little.
Well, I think he played his reasonable normal snaps. He just didn't get that many opportunities. I think they threw 2 or 3 balls on him. Greedy Williams played really well, of course, with the INT. Bottom line is that Tanner Mangum is not even close to the quality of quarterback that LSU will play this year. Now, Chattanooga had a very good quarterback, and I think he got suspended.
Academic reasons.
So he's not going to play.
They told everybody the reasons, academic.
Fitzgerald's going to be really good. And, folks, that's your first litmus test of the year. 2 weeks from tonight, LSU, Mississippi State on the road, 6 o'clock. And that'll be Mississippi State won big. That'll be the first challenge. Fitzgerald's really good. We know Jalen Hurts is good. Shea Patterson, I saw a little bit of Ole Miss running around wearing number 20. We know how good some of these other quarterbacks. Boy, there were a couple things that really made me happy today, TK.
What was that?
Well, number one, it did not hurt me at all to see, how about Maryland putting 51 on the kisser, Tom Herman. Now, did Joe Oliva handle all that right? Probably not, but a lot of people are making jokes.
Well, the problem is there's no players at Texas. That quarterback is awful. Okay, I know his dad's a bench coach for the Texas Rangers, but he's awful. And Tom Herman you can't judge him for another 2 or 3 years.
That's right.
They got 3 straight losing seasons at Texas. And the Big 12's not necessarily the strongest conference going these days. They just don't have enough players at Texas. New coach, same players. In Maryland, a 19-point underdog clocks them and really blows them away.
Still did my heart good to see them get their butts kicked. And then the other thing, I hate to say it, but I could care less about SEC pride today. Florida, you stink. You stunk last year, the way all that went down, and blaming all of us here in Louisiana just because we wanted to play a football game. Glad to see Jim McElwain and the Gators get their butt kicked this afternoon in Jerry's Palace. The problem is Jim Harbaugh is not the most likable guy.
Oh, geez.
So,
and that uniform display in that game, it was awful, man. That's awful. They really got to get away from that. I know I'm old school, but Maryland's helmets were awful. Florida and Michigan's uniforms were awful. I mean, it looks like, oh, man, I can't take it, but maybe the youngsters like it.
And now to give you the reality check of Sunday morning. We are into Sunday morning. And TK, Alabama looks damn good again. 24-7, dominated the team.
Defense. And Bama missed a couple of field goals, and that game wasn't as close as its score indicates.
And so, folks, the SEC goes through Tuscaloosa. You want LSU to get better each week. You want to see more implementation on the offense, kind of clean up the penalties and do the other things. But trust me when I tell you, this is going to be a fun season. With that defense, though, you're going to be in every game. And look, we talked about it. +1 on the turnover ratio tonight. Corey Thompson and the guys probably want to have a few more sacks. But overall, how can you gripe when you dominate? Time of possession was what?
42 minutes to 18 minutes, off by a couple seconds.
Let's kind of go through some stats real quick.
No. First, I got a question here. We got to do the players who was suspended that didn't make the trip. Tolliver and Fulton and Lewis, defensive backs. Defensive lines were Martin,
Clark,
and
DeAndre
Heron,
Clark,
and Heron.
And Frank Heron. Okay.
Linebackers, Michael Divinity, Donnie Alexander.
Right.
Quarterback, Justin McMillan, who wouldn't have got in.
Right.
Offensive lineman, McGee.
Adrian McGee.
H-back, Mouton and Caleb Roddy, the kid from Denham.
Rakithan Mouton, Caleb Roddy.
Wide receiver, Anderson.
D. Anderson. And
that's the 13 that were given to us that I don't think were on the trip.
Yeah, that corresponds on all the names that we had. I thought it was going to be 7 or 8 or 9 during the week. Look, it's good that they got it out their way, and hopefully, like you said, though, this might be a thing where people show up to the stadium 2 hours early to see who's not dressed out. But really, Kevin Tolliver. This is his money year. He's a junior. He was a 5-star cornerback. I had great hopes for him. He's been in the doghouse. Donnie Alexander, he was going to be this year's Duke Riley. I know that those coaches are disappointed, but TK, the substitutes did mighty well.
Let's go to Frank in Baton Rouge. Frank, you're on the postgame show. How are you?
All right, TK and Buddy, how y'all doing tonight?
Frank, I was a little disappointed in you.
Hey, y'all went off the air. It's not my fault. I was getting ready to go to bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Frank, I thought you'd either passed or you had fallen asleep, so thank God you're with us, Frank.
I just happened to come to the bedroom and tried y'all's station, and y'all won.
All right, well, Happy New Year, and Frank, we want to hear what you have to say with this new rendition of LSU football in 2017.
I think they did pretty fair for the first game. The only problem I can see with them, they got problems in that red zone.
Yeah.
I don't know. If they play a good team, 3 points ain't going to cut it.
I think they scored the first couple times in the red zone, and then after that they struggled. And, you know, TK, I talked about this last year, play calling. Listen, Coach Canada, as you saw many TV shots to him, he was very passionate during the game. But, Frank, with all that motion, and I don't think that Coach O will say this at the press conference on Tuesday, but I think you need to get the play. Because if you notice, TK, when it came down to Etling, I'm watching it closely, 15, 16, 17 seconds, but then he's got to look at the wristband, and by the time he calls it, they're going out there at the line of scrimmage at 12 seconds. Then you got all that shifting. You got to get the play in a little bit quicker, in my opinion.
And
Frank.
that's something that can be cleaned up.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I missed the first part of y'all's show. What is y'all's opinion about how they did?
Well, the defense was incredible. Obviously, you throw a goose egg on the board, and you got to give an A+ to the defense. The stats are extremely slanted to LSU, 479 yards offense to 97. The time of possession, 42 minutes to 18. LSU did have 10 penalties. LSU ran the ball 76% of the time. That's one reason for the less than 3-hour game. Frank, I think there's some things they got to clean up, some little things, some this and that. Some of those things, we always hear that cliche, that the improvement that's made between game 1 and 2. There's a lot of things I think that are in that category. And then, you know, they got to get these guys to start respecting their teammates and quit getting suspended so they can put all the people they need to put on the field tonight. BYU is not as good. I didn't think they were real good when I first saw the schedule, and then when I read up on them, they had a good year last year. Then last week we saw them not impressive against Portland State. Tonight they didn't get across the 50-yard line. They had 0 offense against LSU, who had some true freshmen out there and some backups. I don't know. BYU might not win 10 games again this year or 9 games again this year. LSU's got a good opponent to clean things up on next week with Chattanooga coming to town to play in Tiger Stadium. So got to clean up that 10 penalties. There was some late plays getting in, as Buddy said, but those are things that they will go to work on right away.
Frank, you missed these.
I just want to tell y'all have a good night because I am going to bed.
Well, hold on, Frank. I got 2 stats to tell you before you go to bed.
All right.
I'm going to ask you a question. You ready?
Yeah.
What happened the last time LSU pitched a shutout in the opening game of the season?
I don't really know. But they lost a couple of games in a row?
Nope. They won the national championship. They beat Mississippi State 45-0 in 2007. Of course, that culmination of the championship game. Les has won national championship in the Superdome, beating Ohio State. Frank, you remember this game? They shut out Texas A&M 27-0 in the opening game. And you got to go back to 1988 for that. But my point is, they won the SEC championship that year. So this bodes well for karma, Frank. But overall, A on the defense, probably a B, a solid B on the offense. Special teams, maybe a B, B minus. Penalties, maybe a B, B minus. But if you didn't see a lot of young talent that is going to develop into a good football team, you wasn't watching that close.
LSU's got a hell of a future with all them young guys on there.
Oh, man, all those defensive guys are fun to watch, aren't they?
They got some talent. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's just, I don't think Aranda, or whatever his name is going to be there after this year. I think he's going to be offered, like they said on TV, a bunch of head coaching jobs.
Well, let me ask you something, Frank. Would you leave and take a bad head coaching job when you're making 1.9 and you got a chance to coach the kind of talent? I think Dave Aranda's next move is not to be a college head coach. I think he's going to be a defensive coordinator in the NFL, and hopefully that'll still be another 3 years away.
I hope you're right, but I mean, they got a lot of good teams out there that's going to be looking for coaches. But they ain't no slouch.
But listen, we don't know if he wants to wear 17 hats. Do you know how awesome that is to make that kind of money? But he's making almost $2 million. Frank, what kind of recruiter is he? How does he deal with the media? How does he deal with the mamas and daddies and all the other things? Like I said, I think he's more of a football coach that will probably be going to the NFL. We'll wait to see, but let's not kick Aranda and Canada out of here yet. Let's enjoy him this year. And
I ain't kicking him out. I want him to stay.
Well, I know, but you said you think he's going to leave after this year. Let's sit on that a little bit.
Let's put it this way. I know he's going to be offered some head coaching jobs.
Well, that's what we all aspire to be and want when we're college coordinators. But we'll see.
I agree with you. I don't really think he wants one.
We'll see how it works. I know one thing. He was really mad, TK, when they gave up 5 touchdowns to Texas A&M. He said it ruined his Christmas. Hey, to shut down the Heisman Trophy winner, Louisville and Lamar Jackson, and now to put the shutout, he's feeling a lot better about what he's got going on at LSU right now.
Okay, buddy. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Frank.
I'll talk to y'all next week.
Sleep well.
Appreciate it, Frank. Again, LSU wins 27-0. Chattanooga next week. Had a text message here. Want to know what the point spread on that would be. It's going to be big, at least 30. Higher than 30?
Yeah.
30, 35 maybe.
40.
With the exception of Florida, the SEC did great today. Some of them didn't play anybody, but they got out there and did what they had to do. Buddy, we got to take a break. We'll come back. Phone calls, 225-928-4910, 225-928-4910, or send a text message to area code 504-689-9246 with Buddy Saji. I'm Tommy Christ and the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show, year number 11, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, and on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. Stay with us.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in BatonRouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
We continue with the Pelican Sports Postgame Show. Coming up just a little bit, Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com reporting from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. And then right after that, Ronnie Rance of Sports Shorts TV. If you want to give us a call, 225-928-4910. We know it's late. We know it's ho-hum 27-0, but winning the ball game was the objective, and they get it done. If you want to send a text message, it's area code 504-689-9246. Buddy, Darius Geis, 27 carries, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4.5 yards per carry. The wisdom teeth thing did not have an effect. Geis ran hard. Many times it took more than one guy to get him to the ground.
Yeah, but once again, that vivid memory of him running 285 yards against Texas A&M. I think that anytime you have your wisdom teeth taken out, he missed practice 3 or 4 days. He got a little winded. Look, Darrell Williams, I thought, ran extremely well. Almost 100 yards. How many carries he had? For
Darrell Williams had 15 for 92, which is just a touch over 6 yards a carry, and he did have 1 touchdown.
But guys will get better as the season goes along. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a little bitty guy with a low center of gravity, very hard to tackle. He looked good. I think that the interesting thing, TK, as we all talked about it so often, man, I want this offense to change. And I got to be honest with you, I was going to ask you this question, but we didn't get a chance to see a lot out there, and the spring game was pretty much blown away with weather after halftime or right before halftime. So Did they run a little bit more than you thought they would? And secondly, what did you like about the new offense and what did you not like?
Well, they didn't go 50-50, as you accurately pointed out. It ended up 76% run. But when you're up, you're going to run it and work the clock. I get that. You're not going to hardly ever have 50-50. It can be a goal, but you're hardly ever going to get it. I did like the fact that Etling had time. He didn't appear to be under pressure a lot because there were some questions about the offensive line through the fall camp.
Did he get sacked? I don't think he got sacked, did he? Did BYU have a sack? I don't remember them having a sack. I don't think they had one.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look that one up. What I didn't like was what you pointed out. It took a little too long to get the plays in. A lot of motion. You know, and I know LSU fans, and when we watch LSU, we're not used to seeing that, so it seemed to be a whole lot. I guess if we watched the game again, maybe it wasn't overcooked. But there's a lot of motion, and I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to see if the defense is in man-to-man or zone. They're trying to see if anybody's going to walk up on the line. There's some things they're trying to get out of that motion that not necessarily tell the coach something for the play that's already been called, but something for a play that can be called later on in that series or even later on in the game. So I know what they're trying to do, and it could have been a little bit just, you know, Matt Canada trying to get a feel for it. I think if we could get Matt Canada on the show right now, he'd say he probably didn't have his best night calling plays. Yeah. You know, first game, Tigers, for new people around him, you know. But all in all, that's things that can be cleaned up. That's the positive, buddy. They can clean that up. I know Coach Ogeron's going to want less than 10 penalties next week. Chattanooga's probably not as good as BYU, and BYU's not real good. So it's almost like just an exercise to go out there, clean all that stuff up, keep the penalties at a bare minimum, get the plays in a little quicker, and it's going to be ho-hum and a good chance, buddy, there's even another shutout next week.
Well, there's no doubt about it, especially with their quarterback being suspended and not going to play. And look, when we have a starting corner and a starting inside linebacker not play because they're suspended and you pitch a shutout, you got to feel pretty good about those young pups. Once again, Caleb on Chason didn't get a sack. I thought he'd get a sack in a hurry, but you know he's going to be good. Arden Key, this is going to be interesting. I think now you got to hope that Arden Key is back from Mississippi State. Really, there's no reason to play him next week,
none whatsoever,
even if he's ready. So you got talent at that Buck linebacker. Devin White, I don't know about the stats, but he played well. Richard Lawrence has been talked about by Coach O all through the fall camp. He was solid. Corey Thompson is a guy that I think people have been sleeping on. And this is a guy that's a 6th year. I've always liked him. He was a safety. He's always been hurt. Number 23, really good speed, got the only sack in the game. The problem with Corey is that when you go nickel and dime, he goes and sits down. So we'll see how much PT he got, but he looked good. Kerry Vincent, a true freshman. Grant Delpit, a true freshman. Chason, the two inside linebackers, Tyler Taylor and Jacob Phillips. Look, I don't know how many true freshmen played, but there were a bunch of them. Then you throw in the redshirt freshmen. Folks, LSU's got 35 true and redshirt freshmen combined. So to get those guys into the action, some of them in starting roles, and to pitch a shutout, don't let a team get to the 50 and hold them for under 100 yards, that's pretty special.
As impressive as the defensive numbers are, and of all the things we saw, you just know Coach Aranda is going to find a couple of things that he's going to tell them guys, we got to clean that up, we got to do this better, we got to do that better, you know. And again, Chattanooga is not going to be, I mean, it's going to be named that score. Somebody earlier texted in wanting to know what the point spread might be. I said 30, Buddy said much higher than that. All right, here's a text message question. Hey, guys, with the deficiency at the quarterback position, why do you think the one-sided game that it was, they didn't give Adley more passing time?
No passing attempts?
They didn't give Adley more work passing the ball.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have to agree with that question. I thought that LSU was going to throw it a little bit more on first down, but I really think that what they're going to do is make people try to figure out what they're going to do. And every week, supposedly, you may see A, B, C, D week 1, but you're going to see E, F, and G week 2, and then you're going to go on, and he's going to add certain things each week. And look, Stephon Sullivan didn't get an attempt. Drake Davis didn't get an attempt. He was in there a little bit.
He had a catch.
Yeah, he had a catch, one catch for 14 yards or something, 8 yards.
No, I stand corrected. Davis did not get a catch.
Okay. So I agree with that question. I do think they need to be a little more balanced. What I was going to say, and I never finished the thought, everybody wanted Les gone because he ran the ball so much, especially on the toss back. And yet LSU, and Brian may have this because he keeps these kind of stats, LSU ran it, I bet, 80% of the time on first down tonight.
Well, when you got Darius Geis, who's an preseason All-American, preseason All-Conference, you know, if he carried the ball 27 times. If he'd only got it 14 times, everybody would be saying, why didn't you give it to Geis a little bit more?
Well, I think they'll change that up as we evolve into the season.
57 rushing attempts for 296 yards.
And I guarantee you about 18 or 19 or 20 of those were on first down. So, look, you don't want to show what's in your arsenal, and I think you'll see some more stuff next week.
Could be more vanilla next week.
Well, yeah, but you're still going to get more people playing. And look, if you hadn't figured it out, folks, you're going to find out how good LSU is 2 weeks from tonight. Mississippi State's appreciably better, but, TK, it's like you facing Paul Maneri. You struck him out.
That wasn't hard, though.
And he wants another shot at you.
Not going to happen.
LSU's beaten Mississippi State 23 of the last 25 times. And we know that, they are really got all their guns waiting for that game. I think if LSU can take care of that game, you win the other 2 non-conference games, you're 5-0, going to play Florida in the Swamp. And they had 10 suspended for today, so we don't know how good they are. But you got a chance to have a really good start. You go 5-0 in the month of September, this town is hopping like it used to be.
And as you point out, they do get 5 games with the 5 Saturdays in September. And all the cliches, take them one at a time, but they should be able to manage that pretty well. Everybody remembers losing to Wisconsin last year to open it up, but that wasn't going to happen with BYU. BYU not as good as last year's record we thought might carry over forward with that. So we'll just have to wait and see how they're going to do that. Let's go to Steve in Paradise. Steve's calling in from Paradise, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Good morning, Steve.
Hey, good morning, guys. I was very, very happy with tonight's performance. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you shut somebody out to begin the season, that's a huge positive, a huge plus, and they did a lot of things good offensively. I think, Steve, what we've been talking about is that there's some things to be cleaned up, but it's things that can be cleaned up.
Yeah, Steve, I think most people are going home. The Tiger Nation is relatively happy. Look, you want to be a little more disciplined and not have the penalties, but it's first game jitters. And once again, let's make this comment that we haven't made so far on the show. BYU played a game at LSU. This was their first one out of the can. Plus, you throw in 13 suspended players. You never know how those young pups are going to react. I thought that they played really, really well. I see a bright future with all the young guys. But, Steve, it was, let's just say it was unique. All the movement and the play calling was something that none of us were acclimated to see. Of course, some people did see it and know far more than we did if you're a former player or a gridiron member or whoever got in to see that. But this is going to be a fun team to watch. And, Steve, when you have a defense like this, you're going to be in every football game every Saturday night.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And look, I watched a lot of college football from yesterday till today, and I saw a lot of big ranked teams that made a whole lot of mistakes on their first game, and I saw a couple teams that lost ball games they shouldn't have, i.e. Texas. And look, even though I saw the toss dive once tonight, even though it was on a totally unbalanced line.
They ran unbalanced line a bunch of times.
They did.
Boy, and I like that too. And look, there's nothing wrong with the toss dive when you have to run power. But I also know this. Am I the only one that saw this? Or maybe I was just seeing things, or it was a mirage. But on the very first offensive snap of the game for LSU, did
not half the offensive line switch positions?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. You know what? I think that was just like a one of those show me things, like throwing the bomb on first down back in 1978. But it was very impressive, and you know the defense was very good. And you know what? I kept saying halfway through the third quarter, why is Darius Guy still in this ball game? Because I had a feeling that this game was thrown up. And I was very happy to see. I don't know if there's an injury report that I'm not sure of. What did you guys hear about that after the game? Everybody come out healthy or what?
We're getting ready to get that from Brian Lazar and Ronnie Rance here shortly. I haven't gotten any injury reports yet.
You know, they were running him so much, and in fact, I may have texted you, Steve, or Tommy, and the phone is always going crazy during the game, and I'm trying to keep notes and concentrate, so sometimes I'll text back and all. But I thought that they ran him, and, you know, a lot of it was right up the gut, and I know people were pulling their hair and going, wait a minute. This is why everybody wanted this last guy ran off, because he was doing so much right up the gut. But he did get winded, he did get tired, and I think it was probably a common sense knowing that he didn't have much gas left in the tank, and Darrell Williams ran like a bat out of hell, and he's one of those improved guys. Darrell Williams, ever since he lost the weight, has run better. He hit the hole. He was tough to tackle. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a little mini-me of Geis and a bumblebee, hard to tackle. And so, Steve-O, I think they'll have to scheme a lot differently to beat the big boys, but seeing that this was an opening game, there's just not. Now, we did mention that if you're going to have all that movement and all that stuff before the play, you got to get the play in a little bit quicker. They snapped it a little bit too many times with 2 or 3 or 4 left on the clock, and we'll see if they clean that up for next week.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what, buddy, about the time I got that text about Geis being winded, watching on TV, I'm watching Danny Etling breathing hard. So I think the whole offense got a little bit gassed.
But they were on the field a bunch.
And I know this, at one point of this game, and it was in the third quarter, Darrell Williams was rushing for 8.3 yards carry. And so I was very happy to see all that. And then, by the way, I think my quarterback only threw 3 incomplete passes, 14 of 17.
That's correct. Etling was 14 of 17. Brennan 1 for 1.
Yeah, you know, the only thing that is just kind of, I hope they can get past this, and it may just be the future of LSU football. But it looked like Danny Etling had a tablet on his arm or a laptop with that big old flip-up play chart. Maybe that's something that they can ease out of the system. But for the first game, I was very impressed. Even though we had, I don't know what the penalty count was.
10.
There's far too many. But, buddy, I think when I talked to you earlier this week, I said I'd probably throw the visor in the first half because of penalties. I almost did, but I also, after watching a bunch of college football this weekend, the Tigers handled the new offense with the new offensive coordinator pretty efficiently.
And I think about 40 or 50 of those yards and penalties were in the first quarter, right out of the gate, 15 yards, and then Toby Weathersby with a hold, and then there were a couple of others. So really, when you look at it, they did do a better job. Look, Steve, I tell you, the future at LSU is bright. Now, they still need more linemen, both offensively and defensively, but for a starting point this year, Steve, I think most people are relatively happy.
Yeah, and let me ask you this real quick. Just one of those things that I noticed. I noticed Shark was returning punts instead of Jackson for most of the games. Is there a reason for this?
We'll find out from Brian.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good. Sound good, guys, and I look forward to talking to you all next week.
Okay, Steve. I'll
Appreciate
talk to you
it,
later.
Steve. Phone number 225-928-4910. Text message line area code 504-689-9246. Getting some texts about some of the other games. We'll get to that. But we have to take a break. And when we come back, we'll go to the Superdome and connect with Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com, find out what Coach O had to say about the game and answer some of Buddy's questions right after this pause on the Pelican Sports Postgame Show. Stay with us.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including OptiMap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
The HBCU football season will open with a bang at the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Two of the top HBCU teams in the nation will clash as the SWAC Southern Jaguars host the MEAC South Carolina State Bulldogs in the Battle on the Bluff. Kickoff set for 1:30 p.m. at Southern's A.W. Mumford Stadium. And the bands? Both the Marching 101 and the Human Jukebox will be grooving all weekend long. The 2017 MEAC SWAC Challenge.
At Hooters, you can watch all the games with your buddies. All your buddies. Like the ones with ice-cold beer. And wings that'll knock your taste buds into next Tuesday. Buddies you won't have to fight for the remote. Buddies who know a thing or two about football. And the fans who live for it. Host your fantasy football draft at Hooters. Get over $200 in freebies and a chance to win a trip to the big game. Hooters, your official hangout for game day.
We continue with the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show. Buddy Sanji, Tommy Chrysan with you. LSU wins 27-0 in the Superdome. And right now, we go to the Superdome and visit with Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com. Brian, good morning. How are you? Hello, Brian.
All right. I don't know. You got him punched up? Yep.
All right, we don't have Brian.
We just were talking to him. Brian, of course, in the Superdome, and we did have a couple opportunities to ask him. No problems with Darius Geis. He was sat down in the fourth quarter because TK, a little winded and probably not in the best of shape after the 4 wisdom teeth. So they said he wasn't 100%, and it was the way Darrell Williams was running and give Clyde Edwards-Helaire a little time. Also, Brian and I were talking, we didn't see anybody on the LSU team suffer any kind of injury at all. Now, there may be a bump or a bruise or, somebody in the whirlpool for a little bit, but came out of it, as far as we saw, really, really healthy and played a lot of people. So
yeah, they got a lot of people in, and Geis carried the ball 27 times, and honestly, he had one catch, carried it, so he did 28 touches, and then Williams carried it 15 times. Clyde Edwards-Helaire carried it 6 times, and I think we're going to try to reconnect with Brian Lazar down at the Superdome. But you're right, buddy. They played a lot of people got in the game. That's a good thing. You don't always have that opening game where you can get a lot of people in.
All right, we wait for Brian's call. We'll also visit with Ronnie Rance coming up later on.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Good. How y'all doing?
Good.
Okay,
What did
Brian.
Coach O have to say after the game?
Well, a lot of different things. First of all, praise Dave Aranda. He says he does such a great job with the defense and has so many different things he can do. And, offensively, he says that, he says they want to be 50-50. They weren't 50-50 tonight, but they were more physical. And that's what they wanted to be. They thought they could out-physical BYU, and that's what they did. And so they ran the ball a little bit more, and that was their game plan for tonight. He praised Geis And, of course, Danny Etling, he says Danny he did tonight what we asked him to do. And, he was almost perfect, 14 of 17 throwing the football. Ed also, talked about the freshmen. He says, look, this certainly looks like one of the best classes I've been around. And he says, look, I expect them to make more mistakes than what they did tonight in their first game. But, you had 4 true freshmen starting, 1 on offense, 3 on defense. And then the first time they were in the nickel, Gary Vincent was the nickel back. So that was the 4th true freshman. So a lot of young guys on that defense tonight. And the speed was too great. And BYU didn't have a chance, Once LSU got ahead 14-0, the game was over. Well,
we'll see if it's 50-50. I think it makes for good talk, but I would venture to say, if it's 60-40 run-pass ratio, people will be happy. Obviously, you mentioned the disparity. Brian, the interesting things, BYU not crossing the 50, and, of course, the last time LSU played in the Superdome, they didn't cross the 50.
Well, I checked on that tonight, buddy. That's not right. They ran 3 plays. They ran 3 plays in the 4th quarter on Alabama's side of the field.
Okay, well, for whatever reason, everybody's been saying that. But but tonight, BYU was totally shut down. As a true freshman, Brian, the first series, Tyler Taylor makes a play, and then Kerry Vincent makes a play, Grant Delpit makes a play, and then redshirt freshman Greedy Williams makes an INT. I know Ed had to be excited. Caleb on Chason didn't get a sack, but he probably had a hurry. I know he had to be real happy. And did he say anything about the suspended players and if there's more to come, or did he even address that?
No, he didn't address it at all. I mean, like he told us the other day, he's not going to talk about the suspension. So it looked there were 15 scholarship players not in uniform tonight. 2 were here hurt, Arden Key and Andre Anthony. They were here, but they were not dressed out. And then the other 13 who were missing didn't even make trips. That means they had 13 players suspended.
Brian, what do you think? What I saw on the offensive line is Sadiq Churl started, but Ed Ingram played really well. Did he mention any on that and how those 2 guys showed up?
Didn't mention anything about that, but I agree with you. I thought they were a little bit better when Ingram was in the game than they were with Charles, so we'll see. I'm sure that I don't necessarily think that, at least for the first month of the year, you'll see one guy playing all the time. I think you'll see both guys, splitting time in there for at least the first month of the year.
Brian, what was your observations on Danny Etling, 14 of 17 for 171? How do you think Etling played?
I thought he did a good job. He managed the game well, was accurate as 14 of 17 shows, and I thought that the big thing was LSU's first 3 scoring drives. Each of the 3 receivers made a key catch. On the first one, Derek Dillon caught a ball on 3rd and 8. That set up Geis's first touchdown. Then the 52-yard completion to Chark set up the 2nd touchdown. And then Gonslin's first field goal was set up on a 32-yard pass from Etling to Russell Gage. So the 3 top receivers all made a big catch on each of LSU's first 3 scoring drives. So, look, was the offense solid but not spectacular. You had 6 jet sweeps by the 3 receivers. I didn't think there were a lot of shifts in motioning that was being done tonight. But, look, it got back to this. LSU's best player is Darius Geis, and he got the ball early and often.
Brian, tell everybody what's happening at TigerBait.com.
www.tigerbait.com, all the post-game coverage, and then there'll be time to get ready for the game against Chattanooga next Saturday.
All right, Brian, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, B. I'll talk to you next week.
Okay, talk to you guys later.
All right, that's Brian Lazar from the Superdome. Again, buddy, they said 53,000 tickets sold. They probably had some walk-up tickets that got sold. So considering the entire circumstance involved with the game being relocated to Superdome, I think that's an adequate number, a good number. And the ticket prices were pretty high, but people still found a way to do it.
And I heard on Friday that BYU only had about 2,500 that decided to come. They had 9,500 or close to 10,000 that were going to Houston. But whether or not they didn't want to brave the elements of New Orleans. And it is. You set up Houston, and we all know that's a tough trip for them, and then to redirect it to New Orleans. But obviously, actual crowd was probably in the 40 or 45 or something like that. But still, like you alluded to, look, it's tough when you have these weather-related changes. And we've seen
LSU's over their quota now. Okay?
Oh,
it shouldn't happen to the Tigers for a long time. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. And again, unfortunately, we can relate to what the folks in Southwest Louisiana and the Houston area are going through. The folks in Louisiana know it all too well. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll go back to the Superdome, talk to Ronnie Rance of Sports Shores TV. We'll see if he was able to talk to any of the players and get any other information for you from the Superdome. He's Buddy Sanji. I'm Tommy Krysan. LSU 27, BYU 0. We're back after this pause. Stay with us. Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, a CLK multifamily management property. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com.
6, 5, 4, 3.
I'm back. Roger Cador here. Come watch Clarence Bugs and I as we team up to bring up all of the positive things taking place at Southern University in the state of Louisiana. It can all be seen on the Pelican Sports. That's the best one. That's it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's the best one.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hooper Road Car Care in Central has been serving customers for over 24 years. Locally owned by Donald and Gina Gaspard, they provide all types of car care, including brakes, alignment, tune-ups, oil changes, AC service, transmission, computer diagnostic, and much more. Hooper Road Car Care also provides towing services. Call 225-262-7127. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, 9695 Hooper Road in Central. We continue with the Pelican Sports Post-Game Show. Buddy Sanji, Tommy Krysan with you. Back down to New Orleans. Ronnie Rance of Sports Shores TV and Sports Shores Radio. Ronnie, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good morning.
Hey, you ran into a couple of the players after the game. Tell us who you talked to and what they had to say about the Tigers' victory.
Well, Christian Lockerton was the first Tiger I talked to. You know, and the irony is that he missed all of last season. And the last time he played, an LSU coach put a cowboy hat on his head. And tonight, another LSU coach put a cowboy hat when it was the Texas Bowl 2 years ago, when Les Miles put it on his head, and of course, tonight, Coach O, after receiving the trophy, put the Texas hat on again. So, but Lockator was, of course, excited. Missed all of last season. Got a lot of mental reps. Kind of helped coach the D line. He slimmed down about 20 pounds. But he really looks to be the leader of that defense, and he played like it tonight.
And Darius Geis, what did he have to say? 171 yards rushing.
No.
Darius Geis only had 27. But he had 27 carries after 3 quarters, which is he was playfully upset that he didn't get more. He wanted to play there in the fourth quarter. He was kind of upset that he get a chance to, keep carrying the rock. But nonetheless, he was happy for his teammates. But he said he went up to the coaches and said, "Put me back in there," but they wouldn't let him.
He got tired, Ronnie, or what? He looked like
he
got winded in the first half.
He didn't get tired at all. He wanted to keep playing, and that was the coach's decision. I feel like they felt like he got his touches and his yards, and they were up comfortably. And so they didn't want to, take any chance.
And then sixth-year player Corey Thompson, what did he have to say?
Corey Thompson was happy to play a game. Remember, he's from the Houston area, had to deal with family issues. Although his family's home and everything was fine, they didn't flood. But at the same time, it was a little bit of a distraction that he had to deal with, over the last week. And so he's glad to get out there on the field. Folks did make the trip over from Houston, and obviously the defense played pretty well. They were only on the field for 19 minutes, so I mean that's pretty. Nobody got tired. Everybody played well, and of course they shut down BYU. They couldn't. BYU couldn't convert third down.
Ronnie, what'd you think? I don't know how much of the fall camp you were able to see, but what did you think about the LSU offense? And do you feel like this is just stage one of what Coach Canada will want to implement as we further and further get into the season, add something each week? But what did you think of the overall offense and the pluses and maybe some of the things that you said, well, got to clean up a little bit?
Well, I thought it was a pretty good performance, especially for a game one. And that's when he gave the offense a C. He thought they made a lot of mistakes. They didn't obviously finish some drives. So he gave them a C grade and thought they could do a lot better. And that's good, because that tells you that there's more in the tank. Listen, I think we all get caught up in, Canada and putting 40 points in the ACC and all that, but there's a lot of new faces and a lot of the receiving core. And at the end of the day, if you're going to run 34 power, you might as well run 34 power, shifting around some tight ends and put people in motion, but you're still going to run 34 power because you got better running backs, better talent than they do. Guys thought Etling managed the offense well. He said he's a lot more mature, a lot more in command this year than a year ago. So that all bodes well for the passing game to do more in the future, probably starting with next week when they see a little more man coverage.
Ronnie, tell us all about Sports Shorts TV and Sports Shorts Radio.
Well, Sports Shorts TV each and every Monday night at 9 o'clock on Pelican and replays on Tuesdays at 8. 1 hour show, lots of great guests. Joel Davis and myself hosted each and every week. And then, of course, Sports Shorts Radio, Mondays from 6 until 8. Kind of a little look back at the weekend, talking some LSU. We'll break it down on Monday and get to everybody's thoughts and have some special guests as well. That's Monday, 6 to 8 on ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge.
Ronnie, thank you very much. We'll visit again soon.
See you next week, John.
Buddy Tommy, go to Louis Cafe, get some breakfast. Good morning, fellas.
There you go. Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate it very much. We'll take our final break of the program, and then we'll come back, put a wrap on it, hit a few other scores for you. Don't forget, next week, the kickoff's at 6:30 in Tiger Stadium against Chattanooga. We'll be on the air at approximately 9:30. We're back after this pause. Pelican Sports TV. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
My name is Dr. Nicole Rogers, and I'm here in Old Metairie, Louisiana at Hair Restoration of the South, where your hair is our care. And I'd like to invite you to come and visit and discuss various options for treatment of thinning hair. These can include both medical and surgical options. You don't have to go straight to surgery. In the meantime, feel free to check out our website, hairrestorationofthesouth.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Spread the roar. That's right, Tigers Roar. Each Wednesday night at 8 p.m., Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans. Replays are Thursday through Saturday, and the show is available at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Tommy Chrysan and Jordy Holtberg will have the latest on LSU football, LSU sports, and sports from across Louisiana. Spread the roar. Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.
We continue with the Pelican Sports post-game show. 27-0 LSU wins, buddy. Very good defense. They get an A+. No question about that. The only turnover of the game was the picking off by Greedy Williams, the INT. Special teams missed, was okay. Offense, few too many penalties, 10 penalties, I want to say, for 80-something yards. They want that cleaned up. And I think you make the point of the night. You got to get them plays in a little bit quicker, especially if you're going to do all the shifting and the motion, and I know there's a reason for all that, but I think you got to get those in a little bit quicker, and I think Coach Orgeron will be the first to say there was some good things that happened, including getting a lot of people in the game, a lot of true freshmen, a lot of redshirt freshmen, and of course, there'll be a lot of things that the coaching staff will address and say, hey, we got to fix.
Telling comment from Jumbo, he said Will Clapp thought that they played like a C. I think Coach Canada is going to probably also grade them a little tougher because, but TK, this is the thing that really shocked me a little bit. Number one, I don't remember an LSU first quarter only lasting 29 minutes. And what happened is that LSU was picking up first downs and running the football, and the clock just kept running and running and running. And so you and I love the fact that we're getting out of here at 1 instead of 2. We thought we'd be starting way after midnight. That all being said, I think that it's a great starting point. We know Matt Canada is going to implement more and more each week. When you have that dawning report that there are going to be 7 or 8 that's suspended, everybody was freaking out. I think all of the media handled it with class. There were some guys that we all knew were going to be out, and everybody said, look, we're going to give those players the benefit of the doubt. And because if you say a guy's suspended and then he shows up, you look bad. And so all in all, TK, the defense has got a chance to be really, really good. They're very young, but they didn't play like true freshmen.
Well, on the other side of that coin, BYU is not real good.
BYU, you gotta throw that. You gotta
acknowledge that, yeah.
Got to throw that in the mix. That they didn't have a lot of players that were highly ranked, and their quarterback had a rough go of it.
He was average at best.
BYU didn't have anybody that could hurt LSU. The one guy that could hurt them was the freshman tight end, 89, and they got him 2 or 3 times. But overall, you look at it, I think it's a solid B to start. You want to get better each week. It looks like everybody came out of the game healthy. Jumbo did say that Geis wanted to get back in and play a little bit more, but I'm glad that they gave Darrell Williams and Allaire some reps. I do think they'll need to throw it a little bit more as we get into the schedule and the season. But all in all, we're splitting hairs on looking for something that to gripe about.
Once again, 27-0. The home opener next week against Chattanooga in Tiger Stadium with a 6:30 kickoff. It'll put us on the air at about 9:30 or so. Buddy, looking around the rest of the country today, Alabama, clearly better than Florida State. Florida State's quarterback got hurt late in the game. Let's hope it's not serious, but the injury did not look good. I saw the highlight on that.
Yep.
Maryland goes into Austin, Texas, and ruins Tom Herman's debut with the Longhorns. That game wasn't as close as the scores indicated.
But
Texas just doesn't have players.
But why were they ranked in the top 25? You see, that's why the polls.
They quit ranking them in Tennessee and Notre Dame. people that think this is a long time ago when those three programs were good.
But you
and
said
Notre
it
Dame
earlier.
beat Temple today, but that doesn't matter.
You said it earlier. Texas had 3 straight losing seasons, and they come in at 23.
Well, they got a new coach. They just have the same players, and they don't have a quarterback.
USC also did not look good. They struggled to win late over Western Michigan. We know that Clemson won big, and a lot of other teams won big. Penn State won big, a lot of cupcakes. LSU will probably move up a spot or so each week. And TK, it's going to be fun to see what kind of start LSU can have in September. I mean, it's all laid out.
Well, it should be 5-0.
It's all laid out. Well, Mississippi State, I think people have to respect the Bulldogs.
They beat nobody.
I know, but they are better this year. And they got a good quarterback, and they're better on defense. But we'll see.
Down in New Orleans, Tulane whipped up on Grambling State. Willie Fritz off to a win. Shootout in Lafayette. ULL 51, Southeastern 48. Wow on that one, huh? Southern Jags open Sunday at 1:30 against South Carolina State at A.W. Mumford. Nichols with a big win, 32-yard field goal on a buzzer Thursday night to beat McNeese to get off Southland play on a good step there. And now everybody will turn their attention to Ed Orgeron press conference, not till Tuesday because of the Labor Day holiday. And then it'll be Chattanooga and then the conference opener. So, Chattanooga, that's going to be a ho-hum thing. But the next week on the road, opening the conference, it's got to get your attention because Fitzgerald's one of the best quarterbacks in the conference. And there's some good quarterbacks in the SEC.
Yeah.
Nick Fitzgerald, Mississippi State, is one of them. They played Charleston Southern today or something. That was 49-0 whitewash. So they took care of that. So that'll be the next big step because Chattanooga shouldn't be much next week.
Couple of things to remember. Last time LSU opened the season with a shutout, they won the national championship. They beat Mississippi State 45-0. That was the 2007 season. Last time they opened the season with a 27-0 shutout, they beat Texas A&M in 1988. They won the SEC championship that year. Don't forget the local radio shows are off on Monday with Labor Day. We'll be back on Tuesday. And also program SEC Network alternate channel next Saturday night at 6:30, so that's 1083 on your HD TV dial. As you alluded to, we love this Matt Canada in this quick-paced game. Hopefully it's in the 9:30 range, and I'm going to go ahead and say LSU will open up a 39-40 point favorite in that game.
That means 39.5, right?
Yeah,
if it's
that's
between
right.
39 and 40.
You got it.
And we can tell you that they're now 1-0 all-time in football against BYU. That was the first time they ever met on the football field. So Tigers are leading that series 1-0.
Tough to gripe about too much tonight. I think that Coach O will have his press conference on Tuesday, and certainly this is a great starting point for another season. Hey, Tiger fans and Tiger Nation, it's a new day, it's a new coach, it's a new team. A lot of youth this year, and I think that's what Coach O is going to be beaming about after he watches the film.
Once again, down in the Superdome, LSU defeats BYU 27-0. 6:30 next week, home opener, Tiger Stadium against Chattanooga. We'll be here about 9:30. Check out all the local radio guys during the week. Hey, on behalf of everyone at Pelican Broadcasting, as always, we appreciate you tuning in. Help spread the word about Tigers Roar, post-game show, radio, everything we do here. Talk to you again soon.